Hey guys, how are you? This is No Rule 79 Captures. Today I'm going to share a video with you which is going to involve Bose invisible surround speakers. Now, the most difficult part wasn't obtaining them. They're quite easy to obtain, but the thing is that in order to place them on the wall, there are these Bose WB50 brackets, and they are actually very expensive. They're like $60 each, and that I thought so like that's probably with a guy who's like good at DIY. I was like, well, that's pretty much to pay for them. So I've come across a way where I believe it's gonna be beneficial, and if you guys would I know there are many dads, many men, maybe many boys out there who sort of like maybe like me, who own Bose surround speakers, or like if they want to do it in future, they would like to do some sort of this thing. And then why not, let's share my experience with you, and here we go. Okay, so there we are. That's the Bose surround speakers, invisible ones, and I've sort of organized the things in here wherein I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So what comes out of the pack is these two speakers over there. I can give you probably a closer look. So that's about I can say about 3 by 2, yeah, that sort of thing, or maybe whatsoever. But that's like this tiny size. It's almost like a hand size. Yeah, you can pretty much hold it, and that's where the brackets were supposed to gonna go into. So we're gonna do a hack for that. What comes out of there as well is these two adapters for the speakers, which would make it wireless. So like there's wireless connectivity to it. There's a tiny, very nice, which I found very nice, is a Bose imprinted screwdriver in there, which definitely we would use. So those are the two wires for these, well, there's also one another thing in here, is a thing called Bose Jewel. So I'm gonna show you here. So that thing is known as Bose Jewel. That thing, you can actually probably take it out of there, and like normal speaker setup, there's like red and the black wire, which is the negative and the positive, and probably on one of the sides you would be able to see there's like this red and silver sort of screws, which would indicate that what needs to go where. All right, so those are the two things. I'll explain them, what goes into them. So the power supply goes into the adapters, and then from the adapters comes out a wire, which is like this sort of a connector here, which goes on the other end, and then that connects to the speakers via the Bose Jewel at the back of the speakers. So wherein I can show, so the Bose Jewel actually goes in here, that sort of cavity in there, and that's where the connectivity comes from. Probably one more thing is that you can use any of the adapters in here, probably with light. Yep, now we can have a better clear view. So you can adjust the left and the right speaker. So basically it doesn't even matter which one you put where, but then you just need to select it with the left and the right, that which one is which you can do by just switching it over here and there. So that's pretty much simple. Now what we're gonna do is, so these are the brackets which I've gone to local biggest DIY store, which is Bunnings. I've gone in there. So my plans are to take two of these, hang it onto the wall, and then like, let's say, so with a gap, with a little bit of gap, and they go onto the wall like this, and on them stands the speakers. I don't know if you guys like the idea or not, but I thought so like that's pretty much convenient, and probably it's an Uber way to show the thing as well. So there's a bit of creativity into it rather than just the brackets being mounted. I've got some black screws as well. There we are, the plasterboard anchors, which are going to go in first, and then screws goes into them. That thing I've got like Bosch self-cut speed, which is like to make holes. I would want to make the wires not be visible on the wall. I'll try my level best. So we have got two good measuring tapes as well up here, the small one and the big one. And the most important part of this whole activity is the 3 equipment. All right. righty. So that's a small scale which is over here. Then that's the Stanley standard. What do you say? The wire finder or the stud finder, which is basically it is a stud finder. When you press and do it, I'll show it to you while I'm doing it. And that's one of the big scales which we've got there. And then probably that would give us more of an idea. So let's go, guys. Let's see what we are up to with it, and then let's see how we come out. Yeah, let's go. Now I wanted to show you guys, that's my living room, and you guys can see it's like pretty big. That's a 75-inch screen which sits over there. The wires for the while they're sitting out. Yeah. All right, so we've already got, that's this, like in between that table, in the middle sits Bose 700 bar and the acoustic mass. So that's basically the subwoofer over there, and then we've got the bar sitting up here, which is a pretty nice setup. I know the wires over here, I'm gonna get a table and then put it out. Everything's gonna go behind, but that's fine. We can do with it. Now what we're gonna do is, so basically that's the wall where I reckon I'm gonna put up my speakers over there. So for that, to go on the left and the right, we've got two dedicated power supplies, which I can show you at the back. So there's one power supply up here, that's on the probably the left hand side of the TV, like from the TV, and then I've also got on the right hand side of the TV. So there are two, and that's sort of my tools which I've like gathered, a drill, maybe a hammer or something. Or that's more sort of the DIY stuff which everybody I believe would have at their homes. Yeah, so probably I'm gonna start the I'll show you how we end up with the thing, but probably along the way I'm gonna show you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So it's gonna, let's say if it makes more sense while I do it. Yeah, thank you. All right, so there we are. That's what we have done, is that we have put those two brackets which I had shown you before together, placed quite closely, and just mind that the gap in between those two brackets has to be somewhat similar, rather almost similar to the width of the thing, so that that thing can sit on it, it doesn't fold. So yeah, so I've done that, probably placed it over here, and then now the wire goes. I did try to take the wire behind as well. Some of you guys can definitely do it, but there was a stud in between, that's why I couldn't do it. But I've mounted most of my stuff onto the plug itself, so it does not fall on the floor. It does not do anything. But anyways, this whole setup is going to be hidden behind the couches and everything. So that's over here. That's the second thing as well. So a thing to keep in mind is for sure that this setup, or let's say the surround speakers, the rule of thumb is that they have to sit probably just about 2 feet above your sitting place or your ears. So I can show you from a far off distance how it looks like. It looks like probably this. Yep. So it should be, yeah. So that's how it looks. That's the setup there, and that's over there.